Hello everyone. We are gathered here with the final Q&A and we have some reports. We'll go forward with it.
Avasarai Bhante, there are 8 reports. Report number 1, Dear Bhante, after listening to the first day sermon, I thought of writing something which I have been practicing for some time. Very often during a discussion which leads to different opinions, I use the mute function and just listen to it. Why I do this is I feel no point of arguing as it will only waste my time. In my mind, I have a judgment of that person. That person will not give in to prove the other one's point. Though I practice the mute mode, now I feel that I am judgmental and very often my inner chatter goes on. Can you say that this practice of mine is leading to ego death? Would like to listen to your feedback. May your practice and the guidance given to us help you achieve your Dhamma desires.
Yes, now in the world there are so many different opinions and views. And people, they behave in various ways. And even incidents, things happen. Mostly they are out of our control. Right? So this is the reality. Whether you like it or not, this is how the world is. And getting involved in arguments, finding fault in other people, then even trying to change certain situations, it's a never-ending game. You can try. You can engage with other people and discuss, argue. You can try and change other people, especially the family members. You must be trying. Then even certain situations, we try to change them. Right? So this way we try. We put lot of effort towards it. But what happens is that at the end, probably after many years, many decades of struggle, you figure out that it doesn't work like that. The best example would be your family members, maybe children. I remember one time a practitioner, she was sharing about her family struggle. She said that she has this behavior of, changing other people, trying to control other people. So that very behavior has created so much suffering in that person, and lot of friction are felt. That's felt. Lot of friction is felt in their daily encounters. So we have to figure out our balance. Totally being ignorant, it won't also work. You have to figure out the correct balance. Now, there's this Japanese concept of 3 wise monkeys. You can see them on your phone. Those emojis, it appears silly, but according to the origin of this idea, in Japan, they call them 3 wise monkeys. You can see even statues of them. So the first one is covering its ears. Then the second one is covering its eyes. Then the third one is covering its mouth. Yes. So these 3, they are called 3 wise monkeys. And the whole idea is see no evil. Lot of evil is there in the outside world, but you see no evil. You pay no attention to them. Right? Hear no evil. When you open your ears, many things are heard, mostly negative. Yes, but this person hear no evil, then speaks no evil. Negative things are there, but you don't pay attention, you don't talk about them. So this Japanese idea, they are saying, if you see no evil, If you hear no evil, if you speak no evil, then only good will remain. Inside your mind, only good will remain because you are seeing no evil, hearing no evil, speaking no evil. Right? So, the different ideas are there. Then Buddha's teaching, Buddha says, you can see but stay like a blind. You can hear but stay like a deaf person. You can reflect, you can think, you know what is happening, but stay like a dumb person. Right? So that way, we have to figure out our own balance. I am not saying complete ignorance. That also not going to work. But you see this struggle. See how even you being muted, still there is this struggle in your mind. The judgment is there. The difference is that you don't speak out. That's the only difference. But inside your mind, you are judging. Right? So, being completely mute, it's not going to work. Like, there's no real peace. Still, the judgment comes. Then, speaking out, probably getting into an argument, it will create even more friction. Right? So, what is the proper balance? That balance, I think we have to try and see. It could be like trial and error. But giving too much attention, giving too much focus on them wouldn't work. Instead, you turn this opportunity towards you. You take it as an opportunity for you to practice. See how the mind is judging. See, although you are mute, the mind is talking, self-talking. Those things happen. So ego death, maybe probably like, being muted, it won't happen. Maybe agreeing with other person would be a ego death. But can we do it? Are we true to that? That's a question. Right? So you have to figure out the proper balance. It's like, trial and error. You approach these situations in various ways and see. Simply, if they are saying something, you can shake your head and simply go along with it. Those type of skills you can develop. Somebody comes and give an view, opinion. No, you don't agree, neither disagree. Simply shake your head and simply continue. So those type of different options you can try. Not only, trying to speak out and, correcting the other person. That's not the only option. Being muted would be another option. There are many other options like, you can try it, you can practice it and see what type of practice, what type of reaction would lead you into more peace. That's the very idea. So it's a trial and error game. You can try different ways and see how you can manage the situations better. But you have to remember, our main focus is oneself, not the others. Right? In the process, others might get some idea, others might get some, some kind of a silent sermon. But you have to make sure your focus is your practice, not the other way around. Most people, they get it wrong because they try to, correct other people. They try to make them practice. They try to make them meditate. That's a problem. That's a problem, especially if you are a teacher. Otherwise, if you try to spread this message, then it's difficult because you are trying to correct other people. You are trying other people to practice. That's the wrong focus. Instead, it's like, you are preaching, but you are preaching to yourself, not to the others. Right? You are discussing the practice It's not like, advising others, but you are advising yourself. So that type of approach is better. You have to understand where your focus is. Practice is your focus. And when you continue with the practice, even others, they will get this silent sermon. That could be communicated silently with your action. Right? So those things come with time, but this is a good start. See how, although you are muted, inside the mind there is this judgment. Right? Seeing that process is important. Continue and see.
Question number 2, Venerable Bhante, question on walking meditation. Should I stay with one primary object only? Example, movement of the foot or contact of the soles of the feet. Also, my observations change with my speed of walking. Should I try to maintain one rate?
Yes, so those things we say we are open for you to experiment. You can try focusing on a single selected primary object. You can try observing the whole process. Yes, you can try slowing down. You can try increasing your pace. You can try walking forward. You can try walking backward, right? All those options you can try. If you are walking backward, first make sure that the walking path is without any obstacles. That is important. Yes. Otherwise you will hit your head and nibbana. Yes. So try different ways, and when you try it, not just once, not just twice, but you have to experiment with the practice and you figure out, okay, this is the best way for me to be mindful. This way if I practice, that's the best approach, right? Some people, they prefer walking at a slower pace. Some people, they prefer walking at their natural pace, right? So it doesn't matter. What's important is you trying different ways, you experimenting with different ways and figuring out your own practice, your own balance.
Question number 3. Dear Bhante, I would like to share my last 2 days experience, please. Last couple of weeks, though I meditate at home, my mind was proliferated due to unexpected sudden shock. It continued when I was here on the first day too. However, I was able to reduce my proliferated mind and I managed to see the breathing as well as foot touching via proliferations. Finally, today morning, I got a very calm state and I was unable to clearly identify the difference between in-breath and out-breath too. I enjoyed the peaceful state during the sitting as well as walking meditation. Based on my past experience, I can maintain peaceful state when staying in the residential retreats. However, while practicing at home, it is very difficult to improve the peaceful state and proliferations are coming. Dear Bhante, could you please advise me to overcome proliferations and improve my practice at home, please? Much merit.
Yes, you come and become residential at Nissarana. 10 days, you can try. Even that boy over there, he started for first day, right? He said first day, Friday. Then he said Saturday also he will come. Then on Sunday also he is here. And he has one more week, so I invited him to come there, spend 5 days, right? So it's like when you are in a monastery, you can feel that these things, it's like catharsis. You have to understand we have a baggage in our mind, right? So initially when you come to a retreat, you can feel that baggage unfolding. So it doesn't feel comfortable when that happens. But after a while, when you continue with your practice, maybe within couple of days, you can see that the baggage unfolds and you feel deeper levels of calm, peace in your practice. So this is a good experience. Now we get to see a whole new level of our own mind. Maybe we haven't seen it for the entire lifetime. But now due to the practice, we get to see it. But you have to go home now. Again to the same troubles. Again the calm disappears. Problems appear. Yes, that happens. What can you do? You can't deny that. Then again one day you come back to another retreat. Try to practice for a few more days. Again you'll have to go back home. Right? So that way you have to, continue for many rounds. That's the very idea. Initially you feel like you can only be peaceful at a meditation center. At home, there's no peace. That's the idea of a beginner. But with time, when you complete many cycles, many rounds of such sessions, then you realize whether you are at home, whether you are at a meditation center, you can experience same kind of peace, tranquility in your practice. Right? That takes time. But we can promise you, it will come. Yes? So time after time, come to a retreat, go back home, try to see how that peaceful level is destroyed. Again return, come back to another retreat. So that way you have to do many rounds. Many rounds. Nietzsche, his book, Zarathustra. In that book, Zarathustra, he is meditating in a secluded mountain. So he is peaceful there. Right? And one day he thought to himself, today I should go to the fish market. So he is leaving his peaceful monastery and he went to a fish market. If your peace is real, it shouldn't be dependent on the place. For a beginner, of course, it is dependent on a place. But if you are able to achieve a certain level of practice, if your peace is real, then you should be peaceful whether you are in a fish market or whether you are in a secluded place. That's the very idea. But that level takes time. For a beginner, this is the experience. That's true. But what we suggest would be for you to complete many such rounds. Many such rounds. Every day do a sitting session. Go back to your work. Go back to your family matters. Again come back to a retreat. Stay a few days and again go back to your work. So that way we try to complete many rounds and it will happen. Try and see.
Question number 4, Theruvan Saranai, mindfulness in walking. Primary object on soles of feet. I was able to maintain awareness on both soles. I felt the numbness of the soles also on the palm. Also the pain when pebbles got stuck on the soles. I was able to identify thoughts at time when the thoughts has been there for some time, or at times just when it came in. I was able to be mindful of the awareness of the soul for about 60% of the time. Mindful sitting. Primary object of the sensation at the incoming and outgoing breath at the nostrils. I was able to be mindful for 10 breaths. I was able to see the beginning, continuation and end of the inspiration and expiration most of the time. Thereafter, I find that I am not aware what happened. I would wake up with the feeling that I am done with the meditation. Whatever happens, I feel relaxed, but a bit disappointed, thinking I might have slept. But there are times I have the feeling I didn't sleep too. Mindfulness in day-to-day activities. I try my best to keep attention either to soles, palms or body to be mindful. Theruvan Saranai.
Yes, so unknown is perfectly peaceful. The whole world is at peace. no family matters, no going back home after 3 days, yes, no shopping, nothing matters. And for few seconds, few minutes, you are utterly peaceful. Again the world arises. Again you can feel that certain matters, what has happened to me, did I sleep? All these questions come with the world. All these doubts come with the world. Yes? So that's what happens. Right? Even being a Buddha, let's say, when he is in that state, he is utterly peaceful. But worldly people, they are asking questions whether the Buddha will be there after death. Whether the Buddha feels this. That way they are wondering. Other people, the world. But Buddha doesn't answer these type of questions. He rejects certain type of questions. I won't accept this question. Right? So those type of questioning, doubting, that comes with the world. But when you are there for like few minutes, you can feel you are utterly peaceful. Nothing matters anymore. Right? Again the world appears, doubting, questioning about the very experience. All these things come with the world. Right? That is natural. But in your experience, when you revisit it many times, you realize it is not a sleep. It is a peaceful state where you are not able to reflect yourself. Right? And you can't go there. That's the interesting thing. You can't force yourself there. Right? In the next sitting, try and see, okay, I will force myself. I will definitely go there. Sit that way and see whether you will go. It won't come like that. Instead, you have to continue with your usual practice, and as a result of that practice, your mind goes into a certain level of peace. Right? And that very experience lasts for a while, then it disappears. Yes? So, when you have that type of experience in your meditation, you realize how much friction, how much effort is there in the existence. When you exist, there is lot of friction. When you exist, there is lot of effort. But for few minutes, when you go into that deeper state, you are utterly peaceful. Right? The friction in the existence, now you can see compared to that, how much friction is there when we exit. In the existence, lot of friction, lot of effort is there. But when you go into that deeper levels, you can feel you are utterly peaceful. Even questions about peace, they don't arise. Right? So comparatively we see being utterly peaceful versus the existence, the friction in the existence. That comparison you can see. And when you return back to the usual world, you feel utterly peaceful. It feels like you had a full night's sleep. That type of a freshness you feel. Because everything was shut down for few minutes. That's the very idea. Our brains, they are overloaded. Especially when you use devices. They have done this brain scans, and using a device, a phone, a computer, those devices keep you really engaged. That's their ability. So while using a device, the brain, certain areas are really colorful. So brain is really engaged and active, functioning, doing something, right? So those devices, spending time on those devices can really make you really tired, make your brain really tired. So let's say if you are working on a screen, if you are an IT person, then you can feel this towards the end day. You feel this tiredness, even your brain is utterly exhausted, right? So these devices, this technology, they keep us engaged all the time. And when they do a brain scan, they can see certain areas very colorful and engaged. And continuing like that for many hours, it is not good for your brain. And when someone meditates, when the brain scans are done, the brain, you can't find the active area. There is no energy concentration. The whole brain is lit. The whole brain is active, but relaxed at the same time. That's the quality of mindfulness. Active but relaxed. No specific areas of activity. Right? So that type of a relaxation is needed. We need a break from existence. That break is important for us. That's why most people, they try to find it in different ways. Drugs, so popular. Why? They try to find a break from the existence with the drugs. Some people, they are addicted to some other things. They get high on different things. Not drugs, but they have different addictions to get high. Right? So they need a break from that existence. The meditators, they too are on a drug. But this is risk-free, cost-free. That's the difference. And initially we give it free of charge. We invite people to a retreat. We facilitate everything. We get them addicted. We get them hooked on the drug. Then they will come search for you. That's the very idea. They can't live without this. Bhante, I need this drug. That's good. We need a drug in order for us to, survive. But what type of a drug are you addicted? That's the question that you have to ask. If you are addicted to this one, then we say it is risk-free, cost-free. Right? That type of a drug is good for us. So try and see, continue your practice and try to experience this change more and more. And when you experience that, you return back to the usual world, you return back to the existence, but you don't take that very existence so seriously. Because you know that there is a deeper level of peace. That very experience will change you. That's why you say, when I return, I feel utterly relaxed. Good, continue and see.
Report number 5, sitting meditation. Objective, being able to observe breathing unintentionally. This is my 3rd day and there is a small progress. However, it's still very difficult to stop my mind from wandering. Question, is there a different kind of meditation method? Example, Samatha Bhavana, that could help me reduce being distracted most of the time.
Yes. So if you try Samatha, then you will go even crazier. That's the thing. Because, that practice, we try to control your mind so much. Focusing on a single object, getting rid of all the thoughts, that type of approach. I have met people, their body is full of rashes. Why? You ask them, they say, I practice meditation. It is so stressful because I want to get into absorption levels. It is right there, I am reaching it, but I can't get there. So it becomes a whole new goal. Striving. In this world, we have strived for many decades. Now, why do we create another struggle for the sake of meditation? That is not necessary, right? For you, simply sit. Allow your mind to relax. Let the thoughts come and go. That's fine. Among these things, we can feel the breathing. Walk in a walking path. Relax yourself. Let the thoughts, sounds, they'll come and go. But among these things, every now and then we can feel the steps. If you were listening earlier report, one of the earlier reports, you can see that the mind, there's this unfolding. The baggage, it has to unfold. When it unfolds only, you can feel deeper levels of peace. So currently you are in this struggle of unfolding. That's why you complain. But we tell you that you simply relax. Allow these thoughts to come and unfold. It is like catharsis. It is like healing process. When you allow that process to happen, naturally you start to feel deeper levels of peace. It's like cleaning a wound. Cleaning part is difficult. All the fuss will come, it hurts. But you have to do it. You have to do it. That's the very idea. Shushuki Roshi is a Zen teacher. I think he has taken Zen practice to America in 70s probably. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, that's one of his books. Right? So he says, keep the front door and the back door of your house open. Let the thoughts come from the front door and go from the back door. Let them come from the back door and go from the front door. Allow them to come and go freely, but don't serve them tea. Yes? He's suggesting that allow them to come and go, that's fine, but don't serve tea. You stop the thoughts and here's a treat. You try to serve them tea. That's not necessary. Right? They come without your invitation. They go without your approval. That's how it is. Let them come and go. While in this process, you can simply notice the breathing every now and then. So allow that to happen. Right? Forget being with the primary object only. Primary object is there. You at least try to be there. But these thoughts come. That is a healing process that's happening. Cleaning the wound. Right? When you allow that to happen, let's say within probably few days, you start to feel deeper levels of peace. Then you realize this is how the practice works. I'm sure you have been listening to earlier report as well. That person was having the same struggle. But at the end, after allowing this baggage to unfold, that person felt a deeper levels of peace. You too can feel, but you are in the initial part of that struggle. So continue and allow this unfolding to happen. And when that happens, you can feel deeper levels of peace within.
Report number 6, Theruvan Sannai Bhante. Bhante, if a meditator is in the emptiness position, can he do the Bojjhanga Bhavana, Ayatana Bhavana or some other Bhavana along with it? And also, how long can he be in the emptiness? Is there a limit? For further understanding, please.
Oh, if something empty, Bojjhanga Bhavana couldn't be there, no? Yes? Empty. Nothing is there. Now you want to feel the emptiness. That's what you are doing. Right? So that is the nature of the mind. It doesn't appreciate this emptiness. I prefer doing something on top of this emptiness. That's how we are. We have this urge to feel. That's what we are doing. Even the long time meditators, Right? You can see they try to feel this somehow. They try to remember their past incidents, maybe lust. They try to fill this void within them. They try to do something. They try to, find some work. That way, various options they try in order to fill this void within. That struggle is there in this mind. It may come as a part of practice, progressing in the practice, or it may come as worldly things like lust or some other emotion, those type of things. But anyway, all of us, we are in a struggle trying to fill this void. This void, it's like unbearable. Right? So, in a way, we allow it to happen. We say, okay, you try. Even somebody was asking me, Bhante, I feel like there's this urge to feel. There's a void and there's this urge to feel. I try to find various ways to feel it. Should I continue like this or should I stop? I told her, stop. You can stop, but it is forceful, no? Instead, you try to feel it and figure out all this trying is in vain. You try various ways, but at the end of the day you realize this trying doesn't work. This void can't be filled. In your mind, the mind itself has to realize this. If I give another example, let's say you try to find a perfect partner. Yes? You go search for them, this type of a lady I would marry. I had a friend during my university time, and he was saying, Machang, I don't need a so beautiful girl. Somebody like Kajal would do. Somebody like Kajal. Yes. Don't need much beautiful girls, just someone like Kajal. So he got married and I went to the wedding and I asked him, now is it like Kajal? Is she like Kajal? Yes, so that's how it is. You try this ideal partner, you go search for them, right? And maybe like many years, many decades of searching. That whole searching is in vain, and finally you settle for someone who was already available, right? So that type of a mentality, you will try all the other options before accepting Nibbana, before accepting that void. That's the nature of this mind, right? So you go find your Kajal, right? Try to fill this void. Try to do Bojjhanga Bhavana, try to do some other thing, try to fill it with lust. All these things you can try. At the end of the day, you realize all the effort, they are in vain. And that day your mind will accept this very emptiness or this very void. Try and see. It's a process, but I'm sure you can get there.
Report number 7. Venerable Bhante, seated meditation. Object, breath. Body settled and mind focused on breath. Breath became subtle. After some time, there was a shift to a feeling of lightness in the body and like a disconnection happening between the breath and the observation mind. It was very peaceful. Time to time, thoughts appeared and time to time felt the breath more prominently. Observed with intention the state of the observing mind to see if it was equanimous or not.
That's all. Right. So this is good. And every now and then try to visit the same meditation. Like do a sitting session, do a walking session, That way you have to approach this daily, allow this to evolve. That's the very idea. We can see even young people, some of them, they are meditating. Even the little ones we can see, they are meditating. That's not the majority. Majority will always go towards the worldly things, the herd behavior. And if you see the mental health of, let's say, generation Alpha, right? After 2010, right? That generation is in a crisis. Even education department, Lady Prime Minister, she's also saying that this group, they have faced 3 crises. COVID, then economic struggle, then Easter bombing. So the mentality of this generation is totally out. Even teacher goes to a classroom, they can feel it. So the education department, they were consulting with the board of psychologists on what to do. Right? So you can see whole generations, they are with technology, they are always connected, right? They are checking their phones. So that type of a crisis is there. Mental health issues. It will go into a totally new level with these new generations. Usually the millennials, they were exposed to technology at a later age. Initially it wasn't there. I remember in 90s the cell phones were this big, right? That's good for your protection. if some robber comes, you can hit with the cell phone. Yes? So that's how it is. They weren't exposed. And in 90s, the children, they were playing outside. They were running around. They were talking to neighbor kids. That's how it was. Now they are totally connected to the computer. AI. Right? Even there's this lawsuit in America against ChatGPT. This teenager talked with ChatGPT, and that very program or AI supported him commit suicide. Right? So the boy was telling like, I feel suicidal, I should talk to my mother. Then the ChatGPT is saying, no, keep it secret. First lawsuit against ChatGPT, suicide. Right? So you can see they are in a totally imaginary world, a virtual world. And they are not grounded. They don't connect with their parents. Right? So we are heading towards that type of a crisis. And majority will always go there. Don't think that the majority will be meditators. No. Even at Buddha's times, that wasn't the case. But a small portion, they try to find the peace. They go search for it. Even there are some kids at Satipasala, we have been conducting certain sessions for maybe 4 years now, starting from COVID period. And these kids, they were joining probably 8-9 years old initially. Now they are teenagers, still continuing with the program, only a small group. But when you hear their meditation report, it's in a totally new level. The full-time meditators here, they would be shocked to hear the meditation reports of those children. They have been practicing a little, but they have been practicing for a long time. Now, the mindfulness is already there. Whatever you do, you are simply mindful. Right? So there's a small portion of people always going against the current, being black sheep, trying to figure out how to be more peaceful in one's mind. Right? So we are heading into this new period, new era. We want to see more and more people meditating, more and more people finding the peace within. And this is the way. The report is simple, but simply continue for a longer period, then you realize this simple practice will transform you. This simple practice will evolve you into a totally new person. It comes with time, but it's worth it. And when you encounter other people, it will be a silent sermon for them. You don't have to speak out. Instead, they will see there is something different. The world is in chaos, but this person is calm. The world is full of anger, but this person is peaceful. Right? That will be a silent sermon. So it takes time, but it's worth it. So the very practice that you have done, simply continue it for some time, continue daily meditation, continue to come for retreats, and that way we will do it for a while and see how we are evolving into a totally new person.
Report number 8, last report, Bhante. Could you please explain few sati games, especially useful for elders to enhance the mindfulness during the day-to-day life, please? For example, hand and finger related therapy games.
Yes, so many games are there. I think there are like 3 books released on mindful games only. And if you go to Satipasala website, you can find them. Right? Even in YouTube, there might be certain sessions that these type of games are done. Right? So it's like, getting involved in such a program and continuing for a while. They are doing these master trainer sessions. I think couple of yogis from here, they too participated in last month's master trainer session, which was done in English medium. Then earlier we did one in Tamil medium. Then on 11th October, they are starting another one in Sinhala medium. So that way these training programs are also there. You will be granted a certificate of a master trainer, and that could be used for you to go teach a new audience even. That could be used as a qualification for you to go and do a program. So that way you have to get involved in this, and with involvement you figure out different ways. In those books there are so much details. On YouTube, Facebook, you can find such details, and being involved in a program would be the best way to learn. I have few programs that I too participate. There are many facilitators. They have done it for many years, and they know a whole lot of games, activities for the mindfulness practice. Even the one I mentioned yesterday, that Gojif, that activity, drinking water for 25 rounds. They are cursing me. Repeating the same activity for 25 rounds. But in the process, they observe themselves and they learn this interesting activity. Right? So that way, we can approach different groups, especially elders. They need this. But when you go to elders, don't introduce it as a like meditation. That's not the case. Instead, games, activities, these type of things can be used. There's this very nice activity with your fingertips. brain yoga. Brain yoga. It confuses your brain. Right? I remember a couple of things. Like you start like this. Thumb touching the pinky. And this hand, thumb touching the index finger. This is how you start. Then one by one you have to shift simultaneously. This will shift to ring finger. This will shift to middle finger. 2 ways, opposite. Right? Then this will come to middle finger. This will come to ring finger. This will come to index finger. This will go to pinky. Now can you do it? Back and forth? Maybe the little one can do. You have to go opposite ways. 2 hands, opposite ways. One comes forward, one goes backward. I can't do, I'm teaching only. No, you start like this. Let's say pinky and thumb. Here, index finger and thumb. Right? So this will come towards this side. This will go towards this side. One by one. Getting? After a while you realize your brain get confused and both the hands are going in the same direction. That's what happens. So it really puts pressure on your brain. They are called brain yoga. So these type of activities you can introduce to elders and it will be a fun session for them. So that's good. That approach is good. We'll try one more. I think touching your fingertips like this. Then the thumbs, you have to rotate them like this. Rotate them like this while touching your other fingertips. Rotate them clockwise, rotate them anti-clockwise. With the thumbs, it's easier, right? Now, bring the thumbs together and try it with index finger. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Are you losing control? Again, the index fingers come together. Now do with the middle fingers. What's happening to your control? Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Then the middle fingers come together. Do it with the ring fingers. Very little control there. Yes? Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Then the ring fingers come together. Do it with pinkies. Even more difficult probably. I think ring fingers, they are the most difficult one, no? It feels like that. Yes. So those type of interesting ideas are there. You have to get involved and figure out. There are a lot of resources available. Done. Yes. So we are done with the reports. Any doubts? AI. It's technology now, so we can't deny that, right? Yeah, it will take our lives into a totally different level. Now imagine using the smartphones, right? Now those algorithms, they were reading us, reading our viewing time, reading the likes, reading the comments. So algorithm is always evolving and giving us a custom-made feed. Yes, it is tailor-made for you. And they call it feed. It's like feeding an animal. Right? So that's smartphones. They say smartphones, they have gotten so smart, they are outsmarting us. Right? But now it's into a totally new level with artificial intelligence. And that one, we have to see how it evolves. But if you are worrying about, AI taking over the world, that's not going to happen. Don't worry, in our lifetime this won't happen. Yeah, videos are there. They are too in the business of selling videos, no? So you have to find out something proper for the thumbnail. AI will destroy the world. Everyone will go and watch it. Otherwise, most of the thumbnails are with a half-naked woman. Without you even knowing, you are watching the video. Right? So they are in a business. They are in a marketing business, media. They know how to grab your attention. But this is in a new phase. It is starting only. And it will be very interesting to see how it evolves. But we don't consider it as a threat. Instead, we prefer engaging with new things and seeing how we can still practice while this technology being so advanced. That can be done, right? Researchers and those things would be much easier with AI. No, it's ChatGPT. You can also do it. You have two options. Either you can chat with it, otherwise voice commands, right? So it's like, it's like a friend, a therapist. So that boy, he has used it as a therapist. And most people, they use it. Sometimes they ask questions. The algorithm will search and give you feedback. Really useful. But you have to understand there's a limit for them. And the company, they are saying very sorry about this incident. And they are trying to implement more safety. More safety they are trying to implement. So those things are there. That's natural, yes.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel that there's some kind of light coming in my meditation, and I wonder whether I have reached a jhanic level. Can you say something regarding that?
Yes, don't trust the lights, right? That's a bad way to judge your meditation. Instead, simply continue your practice. Lights come and go. Even at Nissarana, that the meditation hall, the arrangement, around 4, the sun sets from that side. So most of the yogis, they say, I got a light, it appeared, lasted for 30 minutes and disappeared. But they don't know that sun is setting from that side. Directly towards your eyes, the sun rays will come. And when that happens, red color, bright red, it feels like absorption. But that's not the case. So that's not our priority. You have to understand these things come and go, but the practice continues. Practice is simply being mindful.
But I saw on a video like in the Abhajang, something, Abhadharma or something like that. They said that you can see a light, some kind of, you can see a light in the first jhana.
Yeah, so it's on YouTube now. You have to come to the reality. Most of those YouTube guys, they haven't done meditation. So many channels are there.
This was from a monk.
Yeah, could be.
So what's the sign for a jhanic level?
You come to a forest. You come to a monastery. You spend 10 days. Like we talked yesterday. You come and then we will discuss these matters. You being being a busy person working, you come for a 3-day retreat and you are talking about jhanic levels. I don't think it will come that easy. Most probably it will be that light. Seriously, I'm saying. So, it's better to, take your time with the practice. These arguments we can have, these discussions we can have, but it's not really helping the practice. Most people, they teach the process according to that step-by-step guidance. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, that type of guidance. it is taught like that, but they haven't gone through the real practice. Here we are not taking that linear method. Our practice, what we are discussing here, we are not taking that linear method. Instead, it is Vipassana. So sometimes when the causes are there, you might go into a jhanic state momentarily, but next moment it disappears. So that approach is much healthier according to my understanding, because if you try to follow that linear method, most of the time people get a lot of friction. It feels like striving. It feels like going towards a goal, achieving something. So initially it will be fun, but after a while it goes into a whole new struggle. When the weather changes, that person is suffering. When the food is changing, that person is suffering. When it is raining, suffering comes. When it is too hot, suffering comes. So that type of a struggle they are going through. Why? Because they are always trying to find this perfect state. But in our practice, we are not after perfection. We say perfection is overrated. When it comes, lasts for a while. When the causes are no longer there, it disappears. But the meditation continues, which should be mindful approach. That would be the best, healthiest approach, according to my understanding. There might be other opinions, of course. We are open to them. We are not saying that this is the only method. That's not our idea. This is the only truth. That's not our idea. There could be other methods, but we are talking about this. We are advising on this. And many people, they find comfort in this method. They have done various other ways. They have failed. They have gotten into difficulties due to the practice. And now they prefer this. Try and see. Whatever you do, pick one type of a practice and continue with it. If you continue for a while, then you can see whether it works. I remember one person, he was from Anuradhapura. Old fellow, about, like 65 or so years old. And he used to visit a Nissarana. And although he visited, he was practicing some other method. And he has been doing it for like 3 or so years. And when we talked to him, he was saying, Bhante, I have done 3 years now. According to my teacher, I only have to do 7 years to get enlightened. So I'll continue this way. Then we said, okay, whatever you are doing meditation, you come and use the place, that's fine. But he wasn't practicing according to our understanding, according to our advisors. So he continued for many more years, and towards the end of it, his visiting frequency, he didn't come that often, but I met him a few times. His mind is cracked. He is talking about some other things. He is saying, I can't observe precepts because I am in a totally new level. Can't observe precepts because I am Sri Mentri or Anagami or something, he says. Right? Bhante, I have a question. But when it comes to questioning, when it comes to arguing, we are equal. Are you ready, Bhante? Then I said, Loku Hamdro is available. We go and visit him. Then he went to Anuradhapura, Katukaliyawa, searching for Loku Hamdro. He was at Nissarana asking for this debate. I told him, go to Loku Hamdru. He went to Katukeliyawa. Then Loku Swamin Wahanse gave him some kind of a task, build a cart. That's his method. When somebody comes with a question, he will give a huge task. Do you complete this? Then we will discuss the questions. When he completes that one, he forget all the questions. Right? So anyway, after many years of practice, that person's mind was cracked. No returning. You think he will return? No. He thinks that he is enlightened. He thinks that he is achieving something. I can't be with the yogis. I can't accept precepts. I'm in a totally new level. What to do? No help. Nobody can support him now. Right? Probably after many eons he might come. That's the only option. We can give him some task. He is a good devotee. He does all the task even. That's the only help he can get. Even I told him we need a cart. He brought equipment from Anuradhapura and built a cart at Nissarana. That type of a committed, devoted fellow. But what can you do? With meditation, you can't help him. Right? So those type of experiences, when you see, you get to realize how many pitfalls are there. How many people get into wrong views, wrong practices under the name of meditation. So try and see. You have to figure out your own path. We are not saying this is the only method. We are not saying this is the only truth. Instead, you can pick something that suits you and continue.
Yeah, my last question.
Another question is there. Okay.
Generally, I follow the Buddhist practices because I have some faith in Lord Buddha, and I know that his teachings are right. So he tells that nirvana is the most blessed outcome. So because of that, I strive for nirvana. But at the end of the day, I'm also scared of nirvana because I think it's some form of non-existence. So could you tell me something more about that? Can you help me in that process?
You prefer existing as well. Yeah?
On some level, yeah.
Yes. That's true. That's true. All of us, if we come face to face with nirvana, we might run for our dear life. That's true. These people, they are very happy today because going back home after 3 days. Yes? So that reality is there. Right? So my method would be, forget about nirvana. At least can I be peaceful here and now? Yes? That's fair enough, no? Then you have a like a balanced solution between these two extremes. I am not going for nirvana. I am not forgetting Buddha as well. Instead, I do this practice in order to be peaceful here and now. I would prefer feeling a certain level of peace within, instead of the mind that goes crazy, instead of the mind that is so anxious, depressed. Right? I think that goal would be a better one. So you have a solution that works with both the plans.
But is nirvana actually non-existence or?
No, I mean forget about nirvana. Just be peaceful here and now. Do the meditation practice for that. Then you get to enjoy the samsara as well, continuing for many rounds while being faithful towards Buddha. Maybe next retreat people won't be there because no nibbana, I said. Right. Done with the discussion for today, and we are completing the September retreat. And at 1 p.m. we will gather here after a few more hours of practice, and after lunch we will gather here for the concluding session. Till that, you can continue your usual meditation.